G'day, welcome to MPS 101 Settings Notecard for the multi-sit pose system brought to you by ge-NeticS. Now what I'll be covering in this tutorial is the settings notecards, global settings, what they all mean, how to set them, what they can be used for. So I have here the chair that I set up in the basic setup tutorial, and I'm just going to go in here and open up the settings notecard for that, because I'm going to be changing a couple of things to show you how they work. So alright, here we have the global settings in the notecard, and the first one you'll see is sit message. By default I have placed a message in here, hi user, touch me to change and or adjust pose. Now you can change this to whatever you like, you don't need to keep this one. Or you can just completely remove it so that there is no sit message. What it is the message that the user gets when they first sit on the chair or object, whatever you have it set up in. So you'll see here I've got user in uppercase letters. So what this does is wherever you place this in your message, it will automatically be replaced by the user's name, whatever that may be. Alright, so now we have sync number and swap number. And although we went over these briefly in the couple poses tutorial, I'm just going to go over these again in a bit more detail. So what the sync number does, it determines a sync number for each prim that you want to sync together. So every prim with the same sync number will be able to sync with each other. Now you can have as many different sync numbers in a link set as you like. So you could have two couples if you wanted to, and you could have both of them work separately from each other. So you'd have one couple be able to sync with each other and the other couple sync with each other without affecting the other couple. You can have as many different groups as you like in this way. So as many different prims can have the same sync number as you like. So you could have 3 or 5 people sync together. So this feature comes really handy. Now the swap number, unlike the sync number, you can only have 2 prims with the same swap number. What this does is allows, say if you have a couple, it would allow if the male was to sit into the female position, then they could simply press the swap button in their menu and it would swap them into the right one. So that's what this allows. That's why you can only have 2 prims with the same swap number. Now the swap number must be different than the sync number. These numbers have to be a positive number, so it can be 1 and up. It can't be 0 or any negative number, it has to be a positive number. So swap number has to be different than the sync number, but the 2 prims with the same swap number must also have the same sync number as each other. Alright, so that's those. Now we have sit menu. What this is when the person first sits down on the object, they will get a menu. Now if you don't want the menu to show you can set this to no, and when they first sit down no menu will show, but they'll still be able to touch the object to get the menu if they want to adjust their pose. So this comes in handy if you've only got like one pose in your MPS object. There's really no need to show the menu when they first sit down. So now we have alpha prim. What this does is it determines whether you want the prim to turn invisible or not when a user sits on the prim. So if you have this set to yes, when they sit down the prim will go invisible, and when they stand back up the prim will show again. And it's that simple. Left click sit. What this is it changes the icon, the cursor icon, to a little chair. So when the person hovers over the prim, and they can just left click their mouse button and it will sit them down rather than having to right click and go to the drop menus and sit here. So I'm just going to set this to yes so I can show you that. Now sit text and touch text. What this is, these replace the default sit here and touch text in the drop menu. These can only be a maximum of 9 characters in length each. Any more than that and they will be ignored and the default sit here and touch text will remain. So 9 characters or less, and due to second life limits you can only set one of these per link set. So no matter how many MPS prims you have set up with these, only one of them will apply. So you only really need to set it in one MPS prim. Alright, hover text. Hover text is text that shows above the prim. So you can set this to whatever you like, and you can even enter a line. So to demonstrate, I'm just going to type something in here. I'm going to say sit here to, and now I want to go to a new line. To do that, I just do a backslash, and that will indicate that you want it to go down to a new line. So I can go sit here to new line, relax. Alright, so I've got that set, and that's easy. Now hover text color is a red, green and blue vector. 0 to 255 colors of each. You got your red, green and blue colors. To mix and match them to make your colors. Now in the instructions note card for the MPS, you'll find in the global settings section under the hover text color there is a note card that you can retrieve called colors, and it has 140 vector colors there ready for you to use from the X11 color list. Now you can use them if you like, or you don't have to. You can mix and match, do your own colors. It's up to you. So the next one we have here is global camera. Now we've gone over camera positions, how you can have a different camera position for each pose. Now what if you just want the one camera position for the whole prim, every pose in it? Alright, this is where the global camera setting comes in. So to set this, you can just grab any of the HD camera data from your setup when you do your first pose. Maybe when you record your first pose and you save it, you can just take that HD camera data and place it here. So to demonstrate, I'm just going to grab some of the data from down in the data that I have from a previous setup, and I'm just going to go here to the relax camera data, and I can just grab this data right here, and I'm going to copy that just like so, and I can paste that data right here. So this is the only parts you need. So you've got the camera position, offset and focus here, and you need the little semicolon to separate those afterwards. And now what that'll do is that'll overwrite any other camera data that I have in my note card. So there'll only be one position for every pose. Alright, so now that I've gone over those, I can just click save. And I'm going to close that note card down, wait for the chair to load. There we go, I've got my sit here to relax text, and I've got my little chair icon when I hover over it. So if I left click on that, I'll sit down. I'm going into my camera position. I've got my menu here. You see there's the message that I have there, Hi Zedhog Derval. See how user has been replaced with my name. So since I set a global camera, I can go into single sits, and let's say I want to go into sleep, and the camera position stays the same because I had a global camera. So any other camera data that was in the settings has been ignored because the global camera has overwritten it. And go back to relax, and the camera stays the same. So there we go. That is the settings note card.